This is a cool beat.
Ah.
You know, a lot of things happened over the last week. You know, one of them, Edwin, I think this will resonate with you. You know, my father, you know, he's been sick and he got admitted to ER a few days ago. And, you know, the doctors don't know what's going on, but it could be critical at this point. And, you know, it's something that we've all thought about. And, you know, I've been preparing myself for a while because, you know, when you have stage 3 lung cancer, you know, there's not a lot that you could do, but he's hopefully, you know, I just hope that he's comfortable during this time. You know, I've said my piece to him. He knows how much I love him. And because of COVID-19, you know, it's just not feasible to even fly back right now because I'll be quarantined for 2 weeks. And it's really difficult. But at the same time, you know, it's also part of life too. And it's something that I know I have to accept, and it's something that I could rationalize right now, but I know when I get the phone call or every text message I get right now, like I'm kind of standing on pins and needles because I don't know what kind of text I'm gonna get, you know. So it's really nice to be here to be with 3 other people that, you know, I could just tell this to. I don't really need anyone to console me or to tell me anything other than to just listen, because it's something that I've thought a lot about. And, you know, it's not to say that I couldn't be told anything that to make me feel better, but you know, it's one of those things where I realize, like, my father's had a really big impact, and every time I think about him, you know, it does really make me sad about, you know, that I may never get to see him again, you know. But I also know that, you know, just like Edwin, he really shaped me, you know. He turned me into the type of person I am. And, you know, I think like a lot of second generation or, you know, immigrants that grew up here, there's communication barriers between us and our parents, you know, so it's hard to tell them exactly, you know, how you feel or the specifics of why you feel the way they do. But he does know that I love him, and that's the most important thing, that he knows the feeling that I have for him. So yeah, I often just think that, like, today I got stoned and I had like the worst trip ever thinking about my dad, you know. And in the past I would have just thought about something else, and actually I just started box breathing, and I started feeling better. But then I realized, like, you know, this isn't the time to take my mind off of him, you know. It's actually a time to think more about him. So I thought more about him, and, you know, I started crying, but it wasn't like I was sad, but I was also happy, you know, because I know that he's gonna leave the impact he left on me. I feel that I do have the power to make a bigger impact on this world. You know, he blessed me with certain abilities that allow me to connect with people, to help people, to understand concepts that I'm not fully trained in, and still talk about them in ways that allow me to not seem like an expert, but understand enough to help people get to a different headspace, you know. So I know that I can appreciate all that from him, and yeah, I just feel, thank you guys for listening, because, you know, it's losing a parent's weird, you know. Like, you just think they're gonna be around this whole time and they're always a rock. And yesterday I heard him say, you know, I'm just tired, Dad, or I'm just tired, Dad's tired, I can't stay awake, and he passed out, you know. It was like super triggering, you know. Like, I was like, holy shit, like, I didn't know if he died or what, but my sister said he's been doing that, you know. Like, so he'll just say he's tired and just like knock the fuck out for a few hours. But yeah, you know, it's nuts, you know. And that's why life is valuable. And for me, you know, knowing that I can't do anything about it, the most I could do is really, you know, the gift that he gave me was life. So really live life to its fullest and try to affect and touch as many people as I can.
That was beautiful, man.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening.
Of course.
Thank you, Sabo. Thank you for being really honest with us, man. I think sharing that always continues to help all of us feel grounded, right? And to Yeah. I know. Yeah, good to see the gifts and the blessings that we have. You know, because I think in the context of death, you know, it really shapes everything. It reshapes everything. It contextualizes everything. And damn, man, I'm really sorry to hear, bro. But thank you. I hope you can do whatever you can to make him sure that you said it just feels comfortable.
Yeah.
How are you girls taking it, if you don't mind me asking?
You know, my girls are, I mean, they're 9 and 5, so they kind of understand, but you know, they don't really understand, but they can tell like I'm affected, you know, so they'll come and give me hugs, which is really nice. And you know, it's a nice learning lesson to kind of show them the circle of life, because they've seen death in cartoons and they kind of understand it, but you know, going through it, you know, it's something where it's nice to be able to show them that like dad is grieving and dad is not okay and that dad needs help, you know, and that, you know, most of the time I'm the anchor for the family, but you know, so there's sometimes that things happen to me, and it's okay that, you know, even if you are the anchor, it's okay to ask for help. And I hope that, you know, they just see me acting in a way where when they go have like boyfriends or they're looking at other guys, that they really try to compare them to, you know, the example that I set for them.
Right. Let's put this in. Yeah. I didn't know any of those things, so thank you for just sharing that into the space. And you don't need any advice or nothing, man. And you know, I thank you for just sharing it in space. You know, it's a very it's a very precious thing. One of my friends, my good friends, his best friend, he had to like rally us up in a circle today over Zoom, a Zoom circle, to just say that his best friend OD'd yesterday, and so she died. And he's such a tough, he can handle so many things, you know, like his dad's been in and out of jail, like he's drugs, he's gotten in trouble, like he's just, nothing can faze me. I've been through a lot, and this is just, you know, it's just the preciousness of life, and how even the strongest man, that one of the strongest men I know mentally, there are things that'll break you down. And you know, those are things that are worthy of breaking down for. Right? It just shows how much you love somebody. And so I would just shut the fuck up. I didn't say a single word. It's just that space. He doesn't need me to say anything right now. Just be a receptive vessel to be like, hey, I'm here, without having to say that. So yeah, man, I'm here.
Yeah,
You're
I know you guys are.
You're dope, bro.
You.
You're dope. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, I'm really, you know, like it's weird, because the more painful it is, the more I realize I allowing myself to feel that pain, and it feels good, you know, it feels good. And you know, having a spiritual practice, and you know, believing that, you know, like this isn't the end, that these are just vessels for our soul, it does give me, you know, it gives me strength to get past this, and to know, like, you know, my dad is just transitioning from one meat body and meat sack to something else, you know, and whatever that something else is, like, who knows if there's afterlife or reincarnation, or if our, you know, molecules just turn into other carbon-based molecules, like, I don't know, but I do think that there is something beyond of what we just think of as beginning and end, and you know, I believe that. So in a way, it gives me some strength to deal with the situation, because if I just thought of it as the end, then I think it would be a lot more just definitive and soul crushing, And you know, it does challenge, you know, like I don't go to church or I don't belong to any religion, but it does challenge my faith a little when I think about situations like this. But I also, you know, it's interesting because you could hide from these things or you could address them. And I find when you address these things, you just learn so much. And it's so weird to, you know, take pleasure in these like down moments, you know, or even to like think like, why do I feel good about like this realization, like when everything should be so sad? But that is kind of like the interesting thing about life, and like why I think death teaches you so much about life. And ultimately, you know, like every time someone dies, what I always try to remember, especially like I don't want to be taught this lesson again by experiencing another death, which is to, you know, really live life the way you want to live it. And, you know, Flow Masters is, I think, very much the key to unlocking that ability for people to recognize what they really want to do, what their knee-jerk reaction to, you know, something is. Do I like this? Do I not like it? And then expressing through words, you know, how they feel. And to me, you know, like this gift of Flow Masters, you know, in some intangible way, you know, helps with dealing with, you know, this situation. Because I think in the past I would have ran from these feelings and, you know, just try and, you know, be the rock for my family versus my family being the rock for me, you know. And that's kind of like the biggest change, and why I think going through this is, it's still sad, it's still tough, but it doesn't feel like the end for me, you know. It just feels like a temporary thing. And, you know, my dad knows I love him, and I do feel like, you know, we'll reconnect, you know, in some way in the future, you know. And however time works, I don't know if it's linear or there's multiple timelines, you know, but I do believe that, yeah, there's more. I feel like consciousness is the basis of this universe, and yeah, you know, we'll reconnect.